Hey Mama, I'm so glad you're here. Today I am talking about something that we all experience, every single one of us, and it is decision fatigue. This is, I think, probably one of the hardest parts about being a mom. And I remember when I was pregnant with my first and talking to some other women about like the baby brain, and they kind of laughed and they were like, yeah, just wait till you actually have the kids. It only gets worse. And I remember thinking, like, oh my goodness, how could this get any worse? Like, I'm already struggling to remember things and do things. And then here I am now with children. I don't have the excuse of having hormones running through my body anymore. This is just my life now. Where there are so many decisions that have to be made in a day that I am mentally exhausted. Like, I am just worn right out, like physically exhausted by the number of decisions that have to be made. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir because you are probably doing something while you're listening to this podcast, checking things off that mental to-do list. Because that's what we do as moms. That's what motherhood is. It's this mental game where we just are constantly having to remember so much. And so that's what I'm talking about today, is how to manage that. How to manage all of the things that we have to remember without feeling overwhelmed and overloaded, because it is enough to make you feel like you are drowning. So wherever you're at today, Mama, grab that cup of tea if you can. And if not, if you are on the go, I got you. Just get the volume turned up and let's get into it. Hey, Mama, I know you're busy. You're living in piles of laundry, you don't know what you're making for your next meal, and there's a really annoying kid song stuck in your head. And through all of this, you're wondering how you're going to build a joyful Christian home. How do I know all of this? Because that was me. Hi, I'm Alyssa, teacher turned stay-at-home boy mom, blogger, podcaster, and Jesus lover. And I know that while this motherhood journey is beautiful, it's also messy. And the best way to enjoy it is to invite God into our chaos and let Him be the rest that we so desperately need. So together, let's strengthen your relationship with God. Let's build a Christian home that is built on biblical truths and enjoy this motherhood journey. You got this, Mama. Decision fatigue. I think it is probably one of the number one reasons why moms are so tired. I mean, yes, your kids are getting up in the night, or you're running your kids to practices, or they're up early in the morning, whatever. There's all of the physical reasons why we're tired, but the mental reasons are there as well. And part of it is our lifestyle. Part of it is the way society operates now, where we are just a go, go, go type society. We're always doing something, going somewhere. Unfortunately, I can't solve that in a podcast episode, but I can help you with some of the other things that we as moms deal with. The decision fatigue, the mental fatigue that we feel just in raising children and building that Christian space, because it is exhausting. It is. And we love it. I love my children and I love being a mom. And I know that that's how a lot of other moms feel, but that doesn't change the fact that we're tired. There is a lot for moms to remember and to do. And it's so unlike any other job. I was a teacher for many years, and so I'm familiar with high stress jobs where you are dealing with a lot of people all at once. I would have 30 kids in a classroom, so I was mentally aware of all 30 children and making decisions for all of them. Like, the minute by minute decisions of a teacher are enormous. And there are other jobs that are very similar to that. I mean, if you're working in any kind of first responder where you're having to be really like on call and in the moment, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. But the difference with those jobs is that you get to pack all of those things away at the end of the day and you get to go home, or you get to take that mental break aside, away, you get a lunch break, whatever, where you can just let your brain rest or take a break from it. Motherhood, it just never stops. That stream of thoughts never stops. You lay in bed at night looking at the ceiling thinking, I'm so tired and I need to go to sleep, and the only thing that's going through my mind is like whether or not I'm running out of yogurt, and if I did enough laundry today, And if I remembered to pay for my son's trip and I did not remember to pay, should I just go do it now with the, I'll just go downstairs, get the credit card, or can I wait until tomorrow? Will I remember tomorrow? And those are all of the things that you're thinking about. The decisions that you maybe are not going to make right now, but you have to make them tomorrow. So you're thinking about them now. And that just is what motherhood is. And so how do we manage that without becoming overwhelmed? Because it is overwhelming. That mental load is so exhausting. And I do not believe that that is how God intended us to live. I do not believe that God intended us to have a motherhood journey that was so exhausting in that capacity, in that sense. I mean, it's exhausting when you have babies, yes, or it's exhausting because your kids are sick or whatever, but it shouldn't be exhausting because you are so worried about all of the decisions that need to be made, or all of the things that need to be remembered. And I know that, and and I'll talk to moms now who have babies, and I remember that stage where they're calculating, how long ago they fed them, and then calculating how long ago they napped. Okay, so when's our next nap? We want to keep it in kind of in that good wake window so we can get them to sleep again. Are they hungry? Why are they fussing? And you're just constantly like running the numbers through your head. And it's so tiring. And I remember those days, and I remember thinking, I can't wait until I'm through this because this is so tiring. It's so hard to keep track of this. And you get through that, and then there's just, something else. You're calculating, the last time that you did a diaper change, and you're calculating what it is that they have eaten today. Have my kids eaten enough vegetables today? Well, how many, bear paws has my child eaten? So you spend a lot of time making decisions for your children. So they're not even for yourself. These aren't even things that are for you. You're not even thinking about your own needs and your own food. All of a sudden your brain has exploded with everybody else's information and how many pairs of socks they have left. And your preschooler's like, Mom, I don't have any underwear. And you're like, how is that possible? I just did laundry. And so all of these decisions that you're having to make, how do we do it without becoming overloaded and feeling like a complete and utter failure because we've forgotten something? Because inevitably you're going to forget something. And so these are some things that help me. So number one is give yourself grace. God gives you grace. It is part of his covenant with you. It's part of his promise, that full circles that he has for us, that love that he gives us, that strength, that comfort, everything that he gives us. Part of that is this promise of grace, that you do not have to do everything perfectly. And the best part is that this is not contingent on whether or not you remember to fold the laundry today. God does not say, he doesn't promise to give us something with the but or the if. That is not part of that promise. He simply says, this is for you. This grace is for you. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourself. It is the gift of God. And that's Ephesians 2, verse 8-9. It is a gift from God, no strings attached. And so we can give ourselves that grace. We can accept that grace from God because he has offered it to us. He has stretched out his hand and handed it to us. And we do not need to be perfect. Perfection in motherhood, if you are seeking perfection, you are seeking the wrong thing. You need to be seeking God. And I will link the blog post for that. You can check that out because you do not need to be seeking perfection. It's okay to forget things or to do things wrong in motherhood because we have the grace that is going to carry us through that. And so cling to that. Cling to that grace on the days when you know you're struggling, when you know that you're forgetting things, when you know that you just are having a really hard time making some of those decisions. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to seek God's forgiveness. It's okay to seek that grace. It's okay to say, you know what? Today's just not my day. And I'm okay with that because tomorrow is a fresh day that, with no mistakes in it yet, as Anne of Green Gables would say. And so number 2 is to write things down. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret about myself is I hate lists. Don't ask me why. I have hated them since I was a kid, and yet I rely on them so heavily. I need lists, but I hate that feeling of having things that need to be done, having it written down and seeing this like list of things that I need to do. It just makes me feel like I have this weight of stuff that needs done. And yet it is so much worse if I try and keep that in my mind, because I feel like the weight on my brain is so much more. So I think really what I don't like is just having things to do, having a list of things, chores that need to be done. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes chores, but it does really help when we write things down. When you just kind of like word vomit onto a piece of paper everything that needs done, and it helps to get it off of your brain, because then you're not having to constantly think about it. You're not having to remember it. It's not running through your mind. It's on the list. All you have to remember is to go look at the list. And I know sometimes my husband will go and look at the list and he'll be like, is this for me? Like, you want me to do all of this? And I'm like, no. Like, this is my list. Like, I would love it if you would help me with some of this, but this is sort of like my things that need to be done. And better still, I find a calendar is actually, even for me, I'm like more of a visual learner. And so I need that visual. If I can write things out on the calendar and I can see like, okay, I'm going to do it on this day. We're doing this on this day, even chores. And you can check out that blog post as well, which I will link down in the show notes, about planning your week out and planning your week out according to your abilities, in terms of being a woman. And you're going to have certain strengths at certain times of the month, and just planning that accordingly and writing it down and saying, hey, like, this is a time of the month when I'm going to get more done, so I'm going to plan more on this day. I'm going to be able to remember more at this time. And then there's other times when you're not going to. So you're like, okay, we're not going to plan too many things. I'm not going to plan to do extra laundry or extra chores on these days because I'm not going to feel up to it. I'm more likely to forget. And just planning those things accordingly. Write it down, because then you're going to know, you're going to see it. It's just right there and you can just look at it. Number 3, kind of segueing off of what I just talked about, but putting your week on repeat, and maybe just doing some things on the same day every day of the week. Like at my house, I do my sheets on Wednesdays. I don't know, just Wednesdays or sheets days. And I kind of alternate laundry with my kids. I do one person's load of laundry a day. And I just do theirs. I don't mix it in with anybody else's. That's not true. Sometimes my boys' laundry does get put together because it just needs done. But I try to keep it separate. It makes it a lot easier for me. I don't have to be sorting stuff. My husband can't tell the difference between my son's clothing, and so then my 5-year-old's like, why do I have my brother's shorts in my drawer? And it's like, okay, so now this is more work for me then. So just make things simple for yourself. Just do one person's laundry on one day of the week. Just plan to do a bathroom on Saturday. Plan to do, windows on another day. Just keep your week on repeat. Same with meals. Just keep it on repeat, where you have, pasta on Wednesdays, and it's Taco Tuesday, and it's Pizza Friday, and you can, vary things from there, like change it up a little bit, different varieties, there's shrimp tacos or, fajitas or whatever, change it up, but keep it the same, just to keep it easier so that you're not having to make decisions about some of those basic routines that you're doing every single day. Those decisions are made, and then all you have to decide are the tiny little pieces that are going into it. What specific type of pasta you're going to have, or what time in the day you are going to do your bed sheets, sort of figuring that part out. It just makes it a lot easier. And again, go and check out that blog post, 30/70/100. Where I break down how you can expect 100% of yourself on some days and expect 30% of yourself on other days. And that's okay. It's okay to factor that into the decisions that you are making, to factor in the fact that there are going to be times when you just are not going to be at your A game. It's just not going to happen. You can try and force it, but sometimes it it's who we are as women. It's how God made us. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing when you think about it, because you think about what it's producing. It's created children, but it also has created opportunities where there are times when you are superwoman and you are super mom. But it also has created times where you are forced to rest and to seek God's rest and to use that accordingly. Go check that out. I'm not going to go any more in that because, like, that's just, I've done blog posts on it and podcast episodes, so you can go and check those out. Finally, is number 4 is let God handle what you cannot. And this is similar to accepting God's grace, but it's letting Him take the things that we just can't handle, asking Him to take it off of our chest, to take on His yoke, because it is easy, because He wants to walk with us in this job, and to hand Him the things that we simply cannot manage. And when we feel that struggle, we feel that fatigue, that decision fatigue, when we're starting to get really tired, and it's like, God, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I love my children, and yes, I want to keep caring for them, like, for the best way possible, but I'm really tired. And handing that to Him and just letting Him carry us through, and letting our children see that too, where our children they're growing up in a house with a mom who hands her struggles to God, with a mom who says, I am tired and I am seeking God's rest now, with a mom who makes mistakes and says, wow, like, that was a bit of a boo-boo on my part, and can you forgive me? I'm going to seek that forgiveness from you. Because our children need to see that. We don't want our children to grow up thinking that their mom is super mom, and then thinking that they themselves need to be a super mom, or expecting that from their wife, or, expecting that from women, or from their friends, because that's not how moms are. We know that. We can't be super mom all the time. And our children need to see that too. They need to see us relying on God. They need to see us saying, I am doing my best, and I'm going to let God do the rest. That's what they need from us. They don't need perfection. They need to know what it's like to be a mom, to be a woman, to be a Christian, to hand our struggles to God and let Him take care of them, and not expect to be able to do it all. And we don't want our children to expect it. We don't want them to expect that of us, and we don't want them to expect it of themselves or of others. And so it's important that we're practicing that it's okay if we feel like we're getting kind of tired. That, you know what, it's all right. And it's okay to say that to our kids. Say, you know what, mom's tired. Mom has done a lot today. She's made a lot of decisions today. She has done a lot of ensuring that you were cared for, that you had what you needed. And she does that because she loves you. But now she needs a rest. She needs God to fill her cup up. She needs to have a little time so that she can continue making those decisions tomorrow, so that you have clean clothes tomorrow and you have food tomorrow. So she goes to the grocery store and doesn't forget the most important item on the list tomorrow. So yes, there's always something to do. And in your home, there's always going to be things that need done. There's vacuuming that's always going to need done. You can do it once and you'll have to do it again. You can dust once, you're going to have to do it again. It's part of having a household. But remembering that God doesn't ask us to do those things to exhaust ourselves, and He doesn't ask us to work ourselves to the bone, work ourselves to the point where we can't move anymore. He wants us to enjoy our lives, and part of our lives is work, but part of our lives is rest, and part of it is seeking that rest from Him and saying, you know what, I have to take a break from this, or saying, you know what, I'm imperfect and I made a mistake today. I forgot something. You know what, I made a poor decision. I did not make the right choice. And I'm sorry for that. You know, I'm learning from that, and letting our families know that we are doing the best that we can, and that we want the best for them, that we are seeking the best for them, and we're seeking that through God. And we're seeking all of that through our brokenness and our imperfections, and it's okay for them to be like that too. It's okay for them to forget. It's okay for them to make poor decisions, wrong decisions, so long as they're learning from it. and growing. So I hope that that helps you. I hope that that kind of helps to lighten some of that load, that decision fatigue when you are like tired of making all of the decisions for everybody about where they're going and what they're doing and what they're eating and what time they're going to bed and what time they're getting up, and then like all of those like, minute by minute decisions that you have to make for all of the little people and perhaps the big people in your house too. That it's okay. It's all right. You can accept that grace from God. Do your best and let God do the rest, because He will. He will carry the load for you. That's what He wants to do. That's what He's there for. And so hand it to Him, give it to Him, and don't get too caught up in all of those little decisions that have to be made, because someday you're not going to have to make them all. Someday your life will get a little bit slower again, and it will get a little bit easier, and it gets harder, but just a different kind of decision that has to be made. So yeah, just remember that, Mama. You've got this. God's got you for everything else, and just enjoy this season.
Thanks for joining me today. Can I ask you to do something for me? Subscribe, share what you've heard, and leave me a review. 3 little things that would make my day top notch. I pray your coffee stays hot, your kids stay calm, and you keep Jesus in your heart. Until next time, Mama, God bless.